Talk to us about how to reset. What is the antidote to this grief process? How do we get out of grief? How do we, number one, recognize it, acknowledge it, and then what do we do about it once we realize that that's where we are?
And there's another common mistaken belief with grief, which is, okay, how do I get past it? How do I get over it? Hard truth. You can't get over grief. What we're doing through a mourning process is integrating the loss into our lives. And the more resistant we are to that integration, the more we're going to stay stuck. And so I love to look at rituals. We have rituals for when someone dies, a funeral, a memorial service, sitting Shiva. And what I love to do with clients is to create a bespoke ritual to honor what was lost, what was learned, how one wants to move forward. So again, we can really use a ritual to integrate the loss into our lives. I'm going to give two examples, if I may.
Mm-hmm.
Um, um, I worked with a screenwriter. Their features, one of their favorite scripts that they ever wrote, just never got across the finish line. And this one really represented a huge heartbreak for this individual. And so we printed out the script, and she wrote a eulogy for her project. And she invited some friends, and they buried the script together. And she read this eulogy. And in part, it apologized to the project to say, I'm sorry.
Mm.
I couldn't bring you to full term. I'm never going to see the beauty of all of your possibility that is going to come to fruition. And she apologized because she felt like it was her fault. And then she said, rest in peace.
Mm.
And it was a really beautiful ceremony that helped her let go of the weight that she had been carrying about this project that was never going to see the light of day. I have another client who worked for several years in a job and was laid off. It wound up being okay in terms of the layoff. They were no longer happy in that job, but you were referencing earlier, like the structures, the systems, like that's what they really missed. My client had kept all of even though she had direct deposit, she had kept all of her check stubs, and she wound up creating this bespoke ritual that was amazing. She turned the check stubs into origami birds, and then she shredded some of the check stubs and created a nest for these origami birds. And for her, what it represented was that her dreams could still take flight, that even though she no longer had that job, she could find a new nest, a new home. And so she wanted to convert that experience that had represented financial security for her and say, that served me at that time, but now I'm ready to take some risks and to try something else. And so two very different rituals that represented two very different things. And I just wanted to share this, with you and your readers, to say that we can create any type of ritual to honor what was and now what's becoming.